So moved.
May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, we are out of executive session, and we'll begin our public session. Please take notice that action will be taken on the following items at the regular council meeting on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, in council chambers, Sparta Township Municipal Building, 65 Main Street, Sparta, New Jersey. The time is 7:34. The regular meeting is now open. And all council meetings are now live stream and can be viewed at the following link, www.youtube.com/SpartaTWP/streams. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the public and the press on January 10th, 2025, by delivering to the press and posting on the township website a copy of the notice. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Councilman Scott.
Here.
Councilman Blumetti.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Murphy.
Here.
Mayor Clark.
Here. We go and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have two proclamations tonight. One is for our 2025 Senior of the Year. And we also will be proclaiming about our Sparta Community Food Pantry. And for our Senior of the Year, I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Mayor Murphy, who is our council liaison for the Senior Committee and has done, tireless work for our seniors in Sparta. And so I'll turn over her to read the proclamation.
Thank you. And congratulations, Michael Zingaro. This is really, really quite awesome. The proclamation 2025 Senior of the Year, whereas older Americans are cherished and invaluable members of our society, deserving our utmost respect, gratitude, and admiration. Older Americans have built our economy, defended our freedom, and shaped our nation's character. They have raised families and dedicated themselves to improving the quality of life for future generations. Older Americans have lived lives of service and sacrifice bound by devotion to the sacred principles of our country. Although no one could begrudge them rest and respite during their retirement years, having worked decades to support and grow their families and nurture their communities, many older Americans spend their time volunteering for those in need, mentoring young people, or learning new skills. And whereas Michael Zingaro is one of those Sparta Township most revered seniors, who has consistently dedicated his time and efforts to our community. He moved to Sparta in 1989 as a single parent with 3 young children. Michael began his volunteering career by getting involved in his children's activities, helping with Boy Scouts and coaching Little League and softball, which led to serving time on the board of directors to Sparta Girls Sports, SGS. And after his children completed their time with Sparta Sports, Michael continued to give his time to Sparta as a softball umpire for 20 years. And whereas Michael Zingaro actively participated in the Kiwanis Club International in 1998, that is dedicated to improving the lives of children and helping with their biggest programs, the scholarship program. Michael held various positions on the board of directors and from 2009 to 2010, holding the honor of being the president. Kiwanis participated in road cleanups, food drives, parades, and other community services and projects. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Sparta does hereby proclaim Michael Zingaro as Sparta Township's 2025 Senior of the Year. We also extend our sincere appreciation and gratitude to him for exemplifying the vital role that senior citizens play within their community and commend him for his enduring spirit and steadfast dedication to our town. Thank you, Michael. Can I ask you to slide home? Please. I know, bossy. Let him have his moment. Thank you. I know, so bossy. Thank you. But thank you, and I attended a fabulous dinner at the senior center in honor of Michael, and I can't tell him all the wonderful things you do in town.
Thank you very much.
But I appreciate it. I appreciate it being a senior. Truly
Yeah, right,
appreciate it.
really. Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Congratulations. I think we need to check Michael's birth certificate because you don't look like a senior. Whatever you're doing, you need to share with the rest of us because you look amazing.
I said at the meeting, I'm glad they lowered the threshold to 45. When people say to me things like that, I say, you have to be on the inside looking at it. It's a whole different perspective.
There you go. And I apologize for being so late starting the meeting,
That's fine.
but I do appreciate everything you all do.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have a proclamation regarding our Sparta Community Food Pantry. And I know that, if you look around Sparta, with the beautiful homes and the nice cars, it's hard to think that there are people who suffer from food insecurity. But they do. They definitely do. And we are very thankful to have the food pantry who realizes that. The reality that there are people in our township who are food insecure, and they are an invaluable resource to help alleviate that problem. So it's really my honor and just sincere gratitude that I get to read this proclamation for the Sparta Community Food Pantry. And we have Valerie Macchio here, and what's her position at the? The president. We have the actual president here. Thank you for being here. So I will go forth and read this proclamation for the Sparta Community Food Pantry. Whereas hunger and food insecurity continues to affect individuals and families across our community, with many relying on the support of charitable organizations to meet basic nutritional needs. And whereas the Sparta Community Food Pantry, established in 1985, is 100% volunteer-based and has served as a beacon of hope and compassion, providing essential food resources, dignity, and support to thousands of residents in need. Through the dedicated efforts of its volunteers, staff, donors, and community partners, Sparta Community Food Pantry has exemplified the spirit of generosity, neighborly love, and civic responsibility. And whereas the Sparta Community Food Pantry has developed extensive outreach with many agencies such as churches, schools, Family Promise, Karen Ann Quinlan, Compassionate Care Hospice, Daisy, to name a few. Now, working with numerous police departments in Sussex County, they have launched a Go Bag program, which holds 2 days of shelf-stable foods for trauma-related occurrences. Their goal is to have all police stations in Sussex County take part in this program. And whereas this year marks the 40th anniversary of the Sparta Community Food Pantry, recognizing 40 years of unwavering service, resilience, and commitment to fighting hunger in our community, Sparta Community Food Pantry now serves 4,000 people monthly. They are the referral pantry for the Atlantic Health System, including 5 hospitals. The legacy of the Sparta Food Community Pantry reminds us all the power of community action and the importance of supporting one another in times of need. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Sparta encourages all citizens of Sparta Township honor the vital contributions of the Sparta Community Food Pantry by supporting and donating to their mission and resources and volunteering time to ensure that no one in our community goes hungry. On behalf of the Township of Sparta, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Sparta Community Food Pantry for your unwavering dedication to serving our community, your tireless efforts to fight hunger, provide support to families in need, and to uplift those facing difficult times. Thank you for being a cornerstone of kindness for our town. So Valerie, you want to come forward? Share with the public, yeah.
Well, I appreciate this very much. Thank you very much. And on behalf of the people that we serve, it's very nice to be able to receive this from you and from the town. We serve approximately 76 76 towns in Sussex County. We serve Warren and Morris County these days. We deliver to homebound people. We have a relationship to the Family Promise, as you had mentioned, regarding homeless people. We work with the displaced people. So from what started 40 years ago over here at the church, First Presbyterian Church, with a small little room in front of the church and serving about 50 people a month, we've now grown to find the people in need and to serve them with what they need to be able to move forward in their lives. And that means food. So we're here for them and for anybody who needs us whenever and however they need us. So we thank you for this.
Thank you. And I want Deputy Mayor Margie Murphy to join us because she donates a ton of time. And if you've ever seen the back of Marjorie's car,
Oh, my God.
there's always food in there. And every time I'm talking to her on the phone, she's at some place picking up food, driving it to the food pantry. And so she really works tirelessly for this food.
And
She's
as-
one of those volunteers that we refer to. And
Yeah.
thank you, Marjorie. I think we all have a gratitude to our volunteers, of which Marjorie is a key essential.
And we always need more volunteers,
Mhm.
and I've never seen anybody work harder than Valerie, and thank you for pulling me out of retirement.
Sure, anytime.
All right, so we'll
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice.
Exactly.
All right. All right, next up, we have to approve some minutes. May I have a motion to approve the April 22nd, 2025 regular meeting minutes as presented?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of April 22nd, 2025.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The April 22nd, 2025 regular meeting minutes as presented, been approved. Next up, we have the manager's report. Manager Zepp, may I have the manager's report?
Sure, good evening. Good evening, Mayor, council members, Sparta residents, both here in person and joining us online. Staffing updates, we are currently seeking a full-time water and sewer laborer in the utility department. This position offers benefits, and compensation will be based on the candidate's skills and experience. Details are available on the township website under employment opportunities. The Recreation Department is still in need of certified lifeguards for both the day camp program and the senior pool at Knoll Heights. Applicants must be at least 16 years old and hold a valid lifeguarding and waterfront certifications. Reimbursement for certification is available, and the department can assist in locating appropriate training courses. Please contact the Recreation Office for more information. In community events, we have several upcoming events to share. Annual paper shred and e-waste cycling event. This Saturday, May 31st, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Town Hall, rain or shine, this year, we're expanding the event to include electronic waste recycling. More details are available on the township website under News and Announcement. 50th Annual Sparta Day, also on Saturday, May 31st, from 11 to 5 p.m. at Station Park. Co-sponsored by the Sparta Junior Women's Club of Sparta and the Parks and Recreation Department, this event has been a community tradition since 1975. We thank the Juniors Women's Club for their continued dedication to bringing our community together. The Rain Barrel Workshop will occur on Thursday, June 12th from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Town Hall. The Sparta Township Environmental Commission is holding a hands-on workshop to learn how to build your own rain barrel, which will reduce the impact of stormwater runoff by collecting and conserving rainwater. This event is being held just prior to their regularly scheduled meeting that evening. A flyer has been placed on our website and out in the front lobby of Town Hall with information on how to register for the event as supplies are limited. Annual Trout Derby recap. Held on Saturday, May 17th at Station Park, the event welcomed approximately 60 children and their families. Despite stormy weather, it was a great success. In our senior programs, the senior pool will open for the season on Monday, June 9th. The Sussex County Senior Olympics will take place on Tuesday, June 17th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sussex County Fairgrounds in Augusta. For registration and details, contact the Recreation Department at 973-729-2383 or visit their office below the Sparta Library. Under reminders, I have portable sign permit renewal. Sparta business owners must renew their portable advertisement sign permits by Sunday, June 15th. For more information, you can refer to sections 4-17.1 through 4-17.7 of the Sparta Township General Code or contact the Planning and Zoning Office at 973-729-8093. Hometown Hero Banners. 30 new banners were installed last week along Town Center Drive and Sparta Avenue in time for Memorial Day. These will remain up through Veterans Day on Tuesday, November 11th. Road work. The milling and paving of roads in the Sussex Mills and Fox Hollow area continues without issue. This project started May 21st and is anticipated to be completed on June 4th. Area residents' patience and cooperation is greatly appreciated. In memoriam, it is with sadness that we acknowledge the passing of Herb Stanke, of Sparta resident of 48 years and a devoted member of the Senior Advisory Committee since 2008. Herb was also a talented artist and instructor known for teaching easy art at the Sparta Senior Center. His artwork can be seen in the hallway of Town Hall. Our thoughts are with his family during this difficult time. Chief McCarrick will now present his portion of the manager's report. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Manager Zepp. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. As a reminder, the New Jersey Law Enforcement Special Olympics Torch Run will be next Friday, June 6th. And this event will lead up to the New Jersey Special Olympics Summer Games, which take place at the College of New Jersey on June 7th and 8th. Please expect delays earlier in our township that morning between 8 and 9 a.m. And also look for a sign-up link on our social media for anyone wishing to run with us. We should have that out this week. And there will be instructions for meeting times and what we're doing. As many of you know, a pretty hot topic that has been going around at these meetings. Our department, in collaboration with the prosecutor's office, Sussex County Prosecutor's Office, have announced the arrest of 2 defendants for their manufacturing and distribution of marijuana in 2 stores in town, Green Remedies and Zenshine. We did do a press release. The defendants were charged with second-degree possession with intent to distribute a controlled dangerous subject, first-degree maintaining a controlled dangerous subject production facility, first-degree conspiracy to maintain a controlled dangerous subject production facility, and second-degree money laundering. This was a lengthy investigation that our department has been on for about a year. We owe a lot of that to tips that were put in from residents, and I'd like to thank the agencies that helped us out and really put in a lot of effort. Obviously, our police department, this investigation was led by Detective Matt Pletcher, very thorough, and did a lot of work and brought everybody into collaboration to help out. The Sussex County Prosecutor's Office, the Franklin Borough Police Department, West Milford Police Department, the New Jersey State Police Teams Unit, New Jersey State Police Special Investigations North Unit, Newton Police Department, New Jersey State Division of Taxation, the New Jersey State Police Crime Scene Investigation Unit, the New Jersey State Police Canine Unit, and the Sussex County Assistant Prosecutors Jerry Neinhart, John McMean, and Vanessa Henderson. And as you can see, there was a lot of people that were involved in this, and that's why things work out the way they do. Most importantly, everybody involved in this went home safe that day. So we ask if anybody has any further information on this, to please contact us through our Detective Bureau, or if there is any other information out there of any kind of illegal activity, we always encourage anybody to bring it to us, and you could do that anonymously. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you both. Thank you, Chief, for you and the squad's fabulous job of keeping us safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and thank you for your patience and persistence with that. You know, you just rattled off, I don't know, 12 different sound like almost 12 different agencies that had to get involved, and that's a painstaking work. It took a lot of time. And again, I thank you personally and thank members of your staff for seeing this through. Thank you.
Chief, thank you too for your patience in hearing a lot over the last few weeks or months from various people here, elsewhere, criticizing why isn't anything happening, and just this is good to trust that things are happening in the background and that you and your team are all doing their job. So thank you.
Thank you.
And may I have a motion to approve the manager's report?
I'll make a motion to approve the manager's report.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, the manager's report is approved. We are now up to our first public comment period for items that are not on the agenda. And so it would be an item that is not on the agenda. And what I will say is, we're not there yet, but there are public comment periods that deal with items that are on the agenda. On the agenda tonight, we have two introductions, which is both 2511 and then also the introduction of the budget. Please note, you are free to comment on those as much as say what you want to say. What you will not have from the council is any type of engagement or answers to your questions, because at the hearing stage, that's not, I mean, that occurs at the hearing stage. It doesn't occur at the introduction. And so we're trying to be very scrupulous about how we handle introductions and hearings. And so we will address those questions at the hearing stage, but not at the introduction. I just wanted to give you that caveat so there's no surprises if you ask questions or seek engagement on introductions that you don't hear anything from the council members. So, and with that caveat, please state your name for the record and
Jim Castamore. A couple weeks ago, I asked council in reference to the lawsuit of Diamond Chip Realty Corporation, this $100 million lawsuit about whether the JIF fund was going to insure it. That's the Joint Insurance Fund. And town manager said it kind of looked that way. But after digging into this a little bit, I come to find out that this might not be the truth. When you reorganized January the 7th, you brought on a law firm, Kennedy's Law LLP, 120 Mountain View Boulevard in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. It was a highly reputable company and so forth and so on, and we had it on dash. Well, I started digging into this the other day, and I come to find out that the Township Council is going to be represented by a company called Murphy Orlando. John Bartlett, Jason Orlando, Mallory Oldwick, Tyler Newman is going to represent the town council, not only as officials, but personally. And then we have Salvo Schultz Company, which is Steve Werner, Matthew Flynn, and Rich Oler is going to represent from the same company, the planning board folks. And Mr. Dash is going to be represented officially and personally by Werner and Flynn. Well, my question comes, where's all this money coming from to do this if the joint insurance fund is not going to pay for this? I mean, taxpayers?
do you have any other questions? I didn't want to suck up your 3 minutes. I mean, your 3 minutes remaining, so.
No, well, you know, it's taxpayers, so it looks like they're gonna end up, and should you lose this lawsuit, you cannot bond for $100 million. It's illegal. So, you know, and I don't get it. Here's a law firm that you said, January the 7th, highly reputable law firm. Why are we paying for that law firm as residents of the town when I would think of a law firm would have their own liability insurance, I guess you would call it. So that's my question, is because it's obviously this money's got to come from someplace and it's not coming from the joint insurance fund. That's all my questions.
Okay. So I think the question is, what happens if the joint insurance fund doesn't pay for the defense?
They're not going to pay for the defense. You've already hired your own attorneys.
So your question is how does the bill get paid?
Yeah, who's going to pay it?
Well, that comes, I mean, I'm not a budget expert, but Jim, how does, we've had instances where the JIF, there's all kinds of times the JIF doesn't cover
Comes out of
things.
our professional service line.
Yeah.
We have a budget for that, and then when we exhaust that budget, we do the transfers that you're familiar with, and then when we don't have enough to transfer over, we do an emergency appropriation,
Where's that money come from?
the following year's budget.
Oh, okay, okay. That's all my questions, because it looks like we're gonna kind of be on the hook, because the way I see it, and I'll be very honest about this, the master plan was written in 1984. It's never been updated, through nobody's fault. And nobody, Margie, you've lived here in this town all your life, I have. Nobody in their wildest dreams would ever have thought that somebody was gonna come say, hey, I wanna build this warehouse. I mean, hell, when I built my warehouse over there on the other side of town, everybody looked at me and said, you're building what? There was no variances required. And my planning board hearing, start to finish, was over in 15 minutes. And this should have happened the same way. I'm sorry to say this. There's no variances. And you can't ask for traffic studies or water quality. They have no water quality plan because they date back to 1956. They're not required to have one. They're grandfathered in. At least now they have a plan put in place that should be approved. It's there. At least we'll have some water quality. Hell, they can dump concrete on the ground over there right now and nobody can do nothing about it. So, yeah, I realize my time's out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to be heard about items not on the agenda?
Hi, good evening. Ron Day, 22 Fox Hollow Road. Question I have, and I had some questions related to the budget, so I'll hold those to the next meeting. But just in general, at each meeting, the town council approves the expenditures for,
Ron, can I ask, are you speaking on your own behalf or on behalf of the planning board role?
on my own behalf, thank you. Approves the expenditures, I guess for the previous 2 weeks or whatever. What I don't get from that, and I don't know if it's the way that it could be incorporated into the statement when it gets read, is there anything unusual in the expenditures that are being approved that says it's outside of what's been budgeted? So I'm not talking about the preparation. This is an after the fact. It says, how do I know what's being approved is on track or it's going to throw the budget off? How is that looked at? What's the process there? And that may be more for Jim.
Yeah, how are you, Ron?
Good, how you doing,
Yeah,
Jim?
so we actually have a lot of oversight, and I'm looking at Councilman Blumetti because he's a very active participant when it comes to our expenditures. He is very diligent at looking over the bills list every 2 weeks. But I also have a qualified purchasing agent who is very well aware of how the budget is set up and that everything is done per public contract law, and that she will alert me when things look a little suspicious or dangerous, or I have limits, especially at the end of the year. And that's actually how we end up evaluating potential transfers and whatnot. So we do have that. Do you have a specific situation
it's
in mind?
more what I'm, when we look at a budget, whether we're doing, town, the business, our homes, when we get this unusual expense that we didn't anticipate, we got to take some type of an action. So the question is, you really want to identify it up front as soon as you can, so you can determine, do I need to curtail something? Do I need to go get additional money? Well, what steps do I need to take? So I see a lot of activity at the end of the year. So the question was, is this process going throughout the year? And if we see something unusual, are those steps being taken?
I believe they are. The department heads they're the ones who construct their budgets, all right, for their departments, and they get to oversee exactly where the expenditures are, and then they'll consult with finance and administration if there's something outside of what they had anticipated with their budget. There's always a certain level of contingency built into those budgets, and there are miscellaneous lines because there are those unanticipated. But if it's a large number, usually we're all consulted and we decide how best to address it. Some of them can be regulatory, some are mandatory, some of them can be put off. But to set you a little bit of rest is because we're adopting this budget so late that the department heads are been on an abbreviated budget. They're not allowed to spend their whole budget. They don't have it because we haven't approved it. So there actually is an advantage to having an abbreviated budget for half the year that we should be able to get to the end of the year without too many surprises. But when they occur, we do address them.
So, and maybe this has to wait till next week, but let me ask the question and see if we can get an answer. So based on what we've seen so far for 2025, pretty much the budget that we'll see will have everything that we reasonably anticipate, should be covered in that budget.
It should be. I'm still correcting from last year and the prior years, the way those expenditure habits were going on, because like a home, you base your budget on, the prior year's expenses. My finance team, we've done that very, very, with a focus on that this year. And
I'm going to cut you off if I can. I got 50 seconds. I have one more
no
question. As a senior retired living in Sparta, I'm concerned with the tax rate. I'm looking at it, trying to understand it, and trying to get a comparison of where we've been over the last couple of years. When I go to the town website, under the tax rates and ratios, the data ends in 2021. So that would be good information to have when you bring forward the budget. What was 22, 23, 24? If you can't put it on the website, could have put a page in the budget sheet so we can understand how what we're going into compares with what's occurred over the last 3 or 4 years.
I agree with you, Ron. And tomorrow, once we introduce the budget, it'll be on the website, and there are some extra pages
Great, thank
to address exactly what you're asking for.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think it was a good question, and I think, am I right that when we do the expenditures, if there were an expenditure on there that would likely cause the line for that particular agency, so let's, for example, DPW says we want approval for an expense for, a $300,000, dump truck. And if we approve that, they're only going to have very little left in their budget that year. Would something like that get approved, or how does that work?
It wouldn't get to you.
Okay,
I wouldn't let it get to you guys.
okay.
It just wouldn't happen.
So there's oversight, because I think if I understand Mr. Day's point, which is, look, we're, every week or every 2 weeks, you're approving expenditures and actually, theoretically drawing down the budget for certain departments to which that expenditure applies, right? And I think his concern is that, we're just, we want to make sure that we're not approving expenditures that are going to exceed the budget that's been assigned to that particular department. And my understanding of what you said is there are safeguards in place to ensure that doesn't happen.
There's many, including the software that we use. It wouldn't let us do that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And thank you for the question. I think it was a good point. Anyone else with comment on items that are not on the agenda?
Jenny Derrick, Step into Sparta. This is an issue that I've been bringing up on a fairly regular basis. This is the closure of the landfill. It is even more relevant because we're talking about budget. We were expecting to have approximately $450,000 being brought into the town as revenue from this solar deal. This has been going on since August of 2021. We're still not closed. My understanding, so far we've done a lot line adjustment and a land swap. I don't know if that's officially been accepted. Where are we with the state? I know we have to get 2 approvals. We have to get DP and we have to get BPU. And we hired a company back in 2021 that was supposed to take care of all of this. They were experts in Trenton, and they were going to walk this through the halls of Trenton with no problem. But 4 years later, here we are, still no finish. Do we have an update on that? Where are we?
Unfortunately, Jenny, I don't have any progressive news to give you since the last time you asked this. I am pursuing this. I worked on it today a little bit. We are still waiting for the official GP5 permit from the DEP that will allow us to officially close the landfill. We did finally get approval. We're making small strides in that. Our environmental consultant has reached out almost every week to the DEP asking, when are we going to see that permit?
Who is the environmental consultant?
It's Laura Newgar of Eco Science.
And is she related to the I think it's CES or SEC, the company that was hired to do this?
She's not related that I'm aware of.
So why is she doing the work? Are we paying her?
No, actually, the escrow from CEP Renewables for the landfill, they're the ones responsible for helping close it. They're paying her on behalf of us.
Okay. So Laura Newgart is in touch weekly, you're saying,
Yes,
with DEP,
yes, yep.
looking for our permit?
That would allow us to close it, right?
GP5 to close. And what about the component, the BPU
The
component?
CEP has asked me to write a support letter for approving the community solar again. We were denied the first time, so I'm in the middle of writing that letter for them. And this is all being done conjointly
Okay.
in anticipation that we get the final permit and then they can get going on closing.
So is there any component of this process where brownfield comes into play, or I should say, where does that come into play?
I don't believe it is. I was actually told that the terminology was used in error of the brownfield.
So brownfield area in need of rehabilitation, I think it was.
Right. Instead, we're just putting solar on a landfill of a capped landfill.
And this is a preferred program that the DEP likes, or the BPU likes?
Well, the DEP is concerned about the wetlands. It's the BPU that's concerned about the solar project, and that, honestly, the onus is on the leasee there, CEP Renewables.
So brownfield, you're saying, was used inappropriately?
Right.
Okay, that's not what we were sold. So there's nothing else?
And
at all?
this project is a lot long. I mean, I've been in it since the beginning there, so 2000, just earlier in 2000s, we've been trying to close the landfill. And to me, that's the objective.
And to do this in a way that raises money for the township, is that correct?
Well, that would be beneficial, yes.
And okay, that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else for items not on the agenda? Okay, we're now up to the expenditures. Deputy Mayor Murphy, would you please read the expenditures for May 27th, 2025?
Yes, the expenditures for May 27th, 2025 are $6,593,713.24.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the expenditures as read?
Make a motion to approve the expenditures as read.
May I have a second, please? All those in favor of the expenditures for May 27th, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
The expenditures of May 27th, 2025 has been approved. Madam Clerk, could you please read the title of ordinance 2511?
Ordinance of the Township of Sparta, County of Sussex, New Jersey, amending the effective dates of Ordinance 25-07, Ordinance 25-08, and Ordinance 25-09 relating to cannabis zoning, licensing, and taxing regulations.
Okay, may I have a motion to introduce ordinance 2511?
I'll make a motion to introduce 25-11. ordinance.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call vote?
Councilman Scott. Councilman Scott.
Yes.
Councilman Blumetti.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Ordinance 2511 has been introduced, and then there will be a hearing on this. We would normally have a meeting on Tuesday, June 10th, but Trenton, in its infinite wisdom, has decided to move the primary to that date. And so past practice is you don't have town council meetings on Election Day, so our next meeting will be on June 24th. So that will be the hearing date for this particular ordinance 2511. Okay, we don't have any hearing of any ordinances. We are now up to the second public comment period dealing with resolutions. And so again, your comments are limited to the resolutions, also with the caveat that I gave at the beginning, that I know there is a budget one on here, but that's going to be held at our, that will be June 24th as well, am I right? Okay, so that will be all your, the questions that you may have and all that. The budget is going to be on our website.
Yes.
Okay, and so people can study that and then come armed with their questions on June 24th. So anyone wishing to be heard, members of the public, on any of the resolutions? Okay, seeing no one, we will take these one by one. May I have a resolution to approve Resolution 9-1, which is a resolution authorizing tax collector to refund tax overpayment?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 9-1.
May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Resolution 9-1 is approved. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 9-2, which is introduction of municipal budget title only?
I'll make a motion to approve introduction of municipal budget, Resolution 9-2.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Resolution 9-2 is approved. Next up is a motion, may I have a motion to approve Resolution 9-3, which is a resolution to accept a drainage easement regarding property identified as Block 3023, Lot 5 on the Sparta Township tax map. So I need a motion to approve Resolution 9-3.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 9-3.
And may I have a second, please?
I will second.
All right, before we go to a vote, can Town Manager Zepp, could you explain the purpose of this resolution?
Sure, this is actually pretty straightforward, though it looks a little complicated. Basically, there's a new house construction on this block and lot, and there's a municipal stormwater drain pipe that traverses across the property, and there's no easement in the deed that recognizes it. So if the township needs to perform maintenance activities on that pipe, which it's responsible for, it technically doesn't have right of access. So what the town does is we consult with the town engineer and the town attorney and with our JIF risk manager, and we put together an easement that allows us access, and it gets put into the deed. And unfortunately, there's a lot of these type of situations where we have municipal infrastructure traversing private properties without an easement, and that can have issues with it, should things come up. So we're doing the right thing here by doing this.
Thank you. Any other council have questions on Resolution 9-3? Okay, seeing none, may we have all those in favor of Resolution 9-3 say aye.
Aye.
Resolution 9-3 has passed. We're now up to the council liaison updates, and I'll start to my right and move over. Councilman Blumetti.
Sure. First update is I had the honor of attending the Senior Volunteer Appreciation Dinner on May 14th that we just talked about earlier with the award. So I want to congratulate, again, Michael Zingaro, our 2025 Outstanding Older American. And also just to thank, the dinner itself is also to thank, and I want to echo that, all the seniors who were volunteering their time during the last year. So the ones that were there deserve our appreciation for everything they do to help the township and their fellow citizens throughout the year. So thank you to them. And also a quick shout out to our Recreation Department and especially Emily Fisher, who organized it, did it last year. She does a great job at all these events. So I just had a chance to chat with her for a few minutes that day, and she does a wonderful job. Second is just the Business Development Committee. We met again on May 22nd. And just wanted to reiterate that we have several openings on the BDC. Again, if you're a resident or you own a business based in Sparta and you're interested in volunteering, please apply on the township website on the volunteer section, and there's a checkoff box for Business Development Committee. So looking for more people if you're interested. Meet once a month. Thank you.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
Okay. So first I will, last week I attended the New Jersey Mayor's Conference in Atlantic City. And this year's conference, they, usually do a state, bills to be aware of and to be concerned about. There's quite a few. I mean, when you go to these things, what they're primarily concerned about a lot of the time are sort of unfunded mandates that come down from the state that then require municipalities to incur some expense. There's a few bills that are, pending right now that they are concerned about, involving, as usual, our DEP, some related to dealing with organic waste. There's a bill currently pending, and I think it's out of committee, but with that one, it would require townships to have composting, and other towns have attempted this. There's certain logistical issues with that. But again, I think they're trying to figure out what the cost would be to simply, this bill has a whole bunch of other facets to it, but that's one that they're concerned about. One issue that they are very concerned about, and they had asked the mayors to actually do a pledge, which I didn't do because I wanted, obviously check with my fellow council, but it has to do with the council adopting a resolution restoring the energy tax receipts. So what this is back that the state started to be the repository for all the taxes related to like gasoline tax, energy tax, and the idea was they were going to collect that and then distribute, sort of on a pro rata basis back to the municipalities the amount that they contributed. Well, shocker, that hasn't happened. And so we haven't gotten the full benefit of our energy tax, the receipts that funded back to the municipality. And that's a substantial amount of money. And I know, Jim, if you want to enlighten us about this, but when I heard this, I said, Jim, hey, what did we, before, the state started monkeying around with this, what were we getting back from the state with their energy tax credits? And what are we now getting as a result of them now holding on to the money and not giving it back?
So fortunately, my finance department keeps data on all of this, and so I do have data dating back to 2001. And from 2001 to 2023, the total amount received was $27,616,000. All right, but what we should have been receiving what was more than that. We were shorted $8,492,667. So then I fast-tracked it to this year. And so we are scheduled to receive $1,250,152 in total. But what we'll actually collect is $1,202,844, which means we're short $47,000 for this year. So they've been withholding a little bit the whole time since 2021, so you're not getting your full reimbursement of your energy tax receipts. And from what I've read, this has been a long-standing issue for a long time.
And it's not particular to Sparta. It's all 562 municipalities have experienced it, and hence that's why the mayors have made that a big issue. So expect to see, they have, the New Jersey League of Municipalities has a draft resolution encouraging Trenton to start refunding these funds back to the municipalities. So at our June 24th meeting, there'll probably be a resolution about that, but it'll get circulated to the fellow council members to look at. But I thought that was a significant issue. Also covered during the meeting was also a presentation about technology. And I'll address that again in sort of our new or unfinished business. But, there's a lot of technology available now to really assist municipalities to deliver a better customer service and also free up our own staff to focus on tasks, the most productive ones, and to help deliver, a great product to the consumer. And so I'll address that some when we get to new and unfinished business about something that I would like to do with respect to that. Our Trails Committee has been very busy. We are currently waiting for the New Jersey Lands Trust to pay us a visit because of the trail that we want to do from the middle school to the high school involves property owned by the New Jersey Lands Trust. And so we've already presented them under their public comment period. Hey, would you be interested in coming to Sparta and doing a land swap? And we would give them some of the current swamp land that's there in exchange for the part that they own, and so that we could actually build this trail in a way that makes sense to connect the middle school to the high school. And so they should be coming up hopefully within the next week or so to look at, the land that we would be able to offer them. They require a 5-to-1 ratio. And so for every, 1 acre that we want, we would have to give them 5. But again, this is land that this isn't valuable developable property. This is all that kind of swampland that you see by the track and all that stuff. So, and that's what they're interested in receiving anyway, because they're, again, the New Jersey's Land Trust. So also, another component of the trail is the Ironbound Trail, which is listed as in kind of the inventory of trails that we have. The problem is that it's not been maintained. And so I know that there was a meeting with the Sussex County Trails Group, and we raised that issue with them, and they have agreed to help start clearing that. We do want to expand it, and part of it, because as Jim will attest to, when he was at the DPW, he would see bike riders and other people show up and ask, where's the trail end? Where does it begin? And the idea here is to make this a very defined trail, and I think that one involves, getting the county involved, but that one, I think is pretty straightforward in that we just need to clear it up, and the county has been, indicated that they would be willing to help us with that. And so that's moving along, and then it would go kind of to 15, and then the issue will be about crosswalks. And so we have a meeting with the Department of Transportation on Friday, and some of these issues will be brought up about, hey, if we want to extend this trail, we're going to need some kind of, crosswalk for it. So that we will obviously need, because 15 is a state road, and so we'll need help with that. And so that is occurring. People will recall that the Environmental Commission was able to give the Trails Committee funds to purchase a sign for the Glen. And we're lucky to have Doug Dykstra, who's a surveyor, who is now formulating what the sign will look like. And so we're just trying to get a final approval of what that sign will look like, so it actually will give folks a kind of reasonable understanding of where the trails are and where they begin and end. And so we're finishing up that. And so the Trails Committee has been doing a lot of work on that, but I think first order of business is really dealing with the one that we can right away, which is the middle school, the high school. There's also another component of trails that we're working on, what I'm calling a punch list, which is for each trail that we want to do, what are the items that we have to do? And as I've alluded to earlier, a lot of these trails intersect either private property or county property or state property. And so you have to get permission for the current landowner, whether that be a state agency or a private property owner. And so I'm trying to get a handle on who each of the property owners are, what you have to do to perfect us getting it and being able to do the trail. But we're pretty far along with that. With our film committee, I think folks saw that we did get the film ready designation. And my understanding right now is there are, 4 projects that people, we're not at the application stage yet. These are people who have expressed interest, but it's at the vetting stage to see if Sparta makes sense for them. And if it does, then they'll fill out the application. But members of our film committee did attend at the Meadowlands. There was a huge entertainment production in New Jersey, met a bunch of people. And again, and people also saw that Netflix just broke ground in Monmouth County for a $954 million entertainment studio. So there will be more entertainment production in New Jersey, and they're making a big push for that. And Sparta will be poised to take advantage of that by virtue of being a film-ready community. With our Rev 250, I hope everyone will come to our booth at Sparta Day on Saturday. You can learn about the activities that we have planned. Also, I would encourage everyone, if you have ideas, please tell them that. That if you have good ideas about how we could celebrate the 250th anniversary with the Sparta flair, that would be fantastic. And I know folks like Mr. Castlemore, who have a lot of history, you would be an obvious candidate to, so I hope to see you there. So in any event, we will be there for that.
It's your lucky day. I'm going on a 3-month vacation.
We will miss you, Mr. Castlemore.
You're going to watch us, I'm sure, right?
And do I have any other committees that I need? No, I don't, and I will pass the baton to Deputy Mayor Murphy.
Well, thank you,
Sure.
Mayor. So thank you you covered Rev 250. I wasn't able to attend, but the Sparta Senior was a fabulous dinner, as Dean said, and they do need lifeguards up there. They also are very, very interested in finding a location and possible place for a senior center, one that expands to, because they're pretty overfull of where they are. So that's something very big on their agenda, and truly, all the seniors that volunteer there are in every aspect of this community, and it's tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous. So, and I am thrilled to be able to give the proclamation tonight to Michael. For the Environmental Commission, there was a speaker, Jill Aquino, who gave us an incredible talk on the New Jersey Climate Superfund Act municipal resolution, which is in the Senate, and it's passed in many municipalities in New York and in Vermont. And basically, it's helping to charge and to make a lot of companies that have soiled and that have damaged lands, that clean them up and make them accountable for remediation. And all of the climate changes and the problems that we have had due to many of these storms, the 100-year flooding, the different things that have happened over the past years. This is an act that they want Congress to put forward, but there's, I believe, 3 municipalities so far in New Jersey that have passed it, and it's the effects of the climate change on New Jersey municipalities include, but are not limited to, increases in the cost of property insurance. And this is to help make all those companies that are creating a lot of these problems responsible. In 1988, Shell Company was responsible and ended up having to pay out millions of dollars to help remediate places that have been contaminated. Also in 1960, from the coal industry has had a lot of damage incurred in different lands. So they've given us a whole resolution to read and to look at, to see if it's something that we are interested in adopting. And it would call for a Climate Superfund Act that would provide a source of funding to help offset the financial burdens of climate change on all New Jersey towns, residents, and businesses by making the largest fossil fuel corporations pay for the damages caused by climate change in New Jersey. So it was a very, very interesting bill that she came and gave us a talk. So I will pass that on for the rest of the council to see. Also, there will be a booth from the Environmental Committee at Sparta Day, and we hope you come and visit because they have always fabulous, interesting displays, and you can come see and come visit. And that is all I have from my committees right now.
Thank you.
Hi.
Councilman Scott.
Yes. The planning board, we saw and passed the technical school, Sussex County Charter School addition of a cafeteria, and that'll be good for the students. And we had continued discussion and work on streamlining and developing the application intake process to enhance our ability to work with businesses and planning board and zoning board applicants. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. All right, now we have up to unfinished and new business, and I'll start again to my right, Councilman Blumetti.
None for me tonight.
Okay, for me, so I did allude to it in about the mayor's conference. So they had a presentation about artificial intelligence. People can just turn on the news, and that's all you hear a lot of the time about AI. But there's a lot of use of artificial intelligence that can be used by municipalities, and the technology is advancing very quickly. And so we, at one point, had a technology committee, and, for one reason or the other, it kind of went dormant for a while. And so what I will be suggesting to my fellow council members is that we bring this back to life in light of, I think this township could use, if to the extent we can, some technology upgrades to make the work of our employees more productive, to save time so they can focus on tasks that are most, that you can't get a machine to do. And there's some very interesting uses for artificial intelligence, and one that came to my mind while I was sitting there, and then I got up and raised the issue, which is, we're in the midst of a master plan review. And so I asked is, can you use artificial intelligence to inform a master plan? And what I mean by that is, you can feed into it, what would be the best uses in certain zones based on the available land, based on the ratables generation, and any external impacts like traffic and environmental degradation. And so does that technology exist now? And the answer from, people who are in the industry was, yes, it does. They're actually doing this in Europe in some way. I'm not saying that's how we would do our master plan, but I think it's worth looking at because it could save a lot of time and effort as you feed into the data, all our ordinances, all our available land, all the data that we have right now. This could, really AI is simply a decision-making tool, right? It's not we're going to just, whatever AI tells us we're going to do. No, I think it could make our decision-making better. And so there's applications for that and land use. There's other ones with respect to how the public can gain information from our website. An example is if you were to right now go into our website, go in the search bar and say, when is the next town council meeting? Because we use character recognition, it finds everything that says meeting. And so you're going to have to scroll through 10 different things, and you're not really going to get the answer directly. With what is called a government assistant, which is AI, simply goes in based on the data that we have and spits out the answers. So it would spit out, if you use government assist, it would tell you that the next meeting, when I did this, would be, Tuesday, May 27th. Just quick answers. And so there's use for this technology to really improve the customer experience, which means our taxpayers, the residents of Sparta. And I think it's worth looking at. And one of the gentlemen whose company was in municipal finance for 20 years. And so he knows the constraints that municipalities face. And so he would be an obvious person we could bring in to kind of talk to the committee about what is the technology available, how much does it cost, how do you budget for it, et cetera. So I think that's something that I would like to explore and probably bring back to the technology committee, and we'll address that probably hopefully at the June 24th meeting as I look further into it. And any other unfinished or new business? Yes, we did have a meeting with members of our business community, including Tammy Horsfield, also members of our planning office, and member of our planning board, to address ways that we can, again, expedite and improve the customer experience for people who have land use applications before Sparta. And it was a very frank and good discussion, and we're working on ways that we can improve that and expedite it, and really so our business community knows that they can come to Sparta without undue obstacles, or and make it a more efficient one. And so it was good to have people who frankly had complaints, and we got to hear them, and then we had people there to to address them. And so it was it was a very productive one. Also, I know that Ms. Horsfield is one thing that she was kind of emphasizing was the need to allow potential people who want to file a land use application to have sort of concept hearings. And there are ordinances that other townships use to kind of set out the mets and bounds, the parameters of what this would look like. And so she is going to give me that. That's something that I will share with my fellow council members, and so that we can get direction on so people know before they spend tens of thousands of dollars for a land use application, they at least know what are the difficulties that they will face, and so and that they're not just sort of flying blind into an application. So that's something that we'll look at in the future. So that does it for me for new business, or unfinished business.
It's
Councilwoman
an
Murphy.
AI. That's great, new technology. We definitely need that. No, I do not have any new or unfinished business.
Councilman Scott?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, that does it for new or unfinished business. We're now at the final public comment period. Just please state your name and for the record.
Jim Gaston, Mayor, I have to ask a question. When you hired these two companies, Salvo Schulk and Murphy Orlando, wouldn't you be required to do a resolution hiring these companies on and stating how much money per hour it's going to cost? Because we're kind of walking off to the abyss here. I mean, one company's got, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 attorneys. The other company's got 3 attorneys. And there's no numbers, and nobody knows what it's going to cost per hour. Is there a resolution? How do we do this?
Am I correct that, didn't we handle this at reorganization?
No. These attorneys weren't hired for this lawsuit, for the reorganization.
My understanding, am I right, that we did appoint Savo Schulk and Murphy Orlando, and then in that, we did identify their billable rate? Am I right about that?
Correct.
So, if you pull the reorganization, which was what, January 7th?
7th.
It should identify what their rates are, and they were, so they were, hired, and I think we identified that, but it doesn't put, it puts their billable hour rate, which my understanding is consistent with what we would pay for municipal attorneys.
How much money have we spent on them so far, Jim? How much money have they been given so far?
I have to look that up.
But there has been funds given to these two companies?
Yes.
Okay. It just goes through as general money
I have
spent?
the number right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, yeah. Okay, I'm just kind of curious how we, and I'll have to look at the reorganization, because I don't remember seeing it in there.
Yeah, I think, Mr. Gastamore, the first firm on there you mentioned, it was the conflict attorneys that were appointed in the first meeting of the year. So the township always has a conflict attorneys. That's who they are.
Where'd the second attorneys come from?
They were also done, I think, in January.
Okay, I'll look.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not the first meeting, I think it was the second meeting, perhaps.
Oh, so it wasn't done at reorganization?
I don't know about the second firm, but the second firm is also our Affordable Housing Council. So they've been involved with the township for our affordable housing.
Yeah, but this is totally separate. Affordable housing has nothing to do with the DCR lawsuit and each one of you being sued individually and as council members and as the attorney. And that part I still don't get, because the attorney works for a company. I would think they'd have their own liability insurance. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I mean, I drive a truck down the road, I have liability insurance. Has nothing, if I had a truck wreck, do I come to the town and say, well, I live in Sparta, pay for my law fees? I don't get it. Thank you.
Okay,
I'll see you all in about 3 months.
All right, drive safely.
Be
Oh,
careful.
I drive it like I stole
Chief, you hear that?
it. Oh, don't worry, he knows me very well.
Okay, anyone else for public comment?
Hi, Ron Day again. I apologize, I ran out of time on the last one. So the last question I have, and you may not be able to answer this tonight, but maybe if you could think about it to help us understand when we get into it at the next hearing. Going through the budget, most of it I could figure out, but there's one line called reserve for uncollected taxes, and it's like $3.1 million. And what scares me about that is when I look at 2025, in order to hit the surplus, the remaining surplus of $360,000, I believe we have to collect the full 3.1 million, which is about $1 million higher than we've ever used in prior years. And from what I understand, when they had the initial public hearing on the budget, typically we only collect around 800K under that line. So that scares me. So I just want to make sure that we're prepared to talk to that next week. Do we need to collect that full 3.1 million? And what's the probability that we're going to do that? Okay,
We'll get that answered.
thanks.
At the hearing,
No.
Ron.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Ron. Okay, any other public comment?
I have an easy one. I'm Beth Broderick, North Shore. I can't read today, I'm too short.
Oh,
Shut up.
gosh, this is embarrassing.
No, it's okay, I'll stand on my toes. When are you meeting with Lake?
There you go.
Can you put it down even further? When are you meeting with Lake Mohawk?
So it was supposed to occur last week, but someone forgot that they had a New Jersey Conference of Mayors. We don't know who that someone is, but you're staring at them. And so we had to we're picking a date, hopefully in the next 2 weeks, that we'll meet. I got to work with Lake Mohawk's schedule. But we were all set to meet last week, but someone messed that up.
You messed up. I always have a concern.
But I will let you know,
Okay.
Beth, and then, I'm happy to, send me an email, say, I want you, Neil, to address this with Lake Mohawk, and I will do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my other question is, what's the next step with filling Dan's spot?
Um,
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask that question, or I'm just,
Can you repeat the question?
what's the next step with filling Dan's
Oh,
spot? I don't know how any of that works, or,
is it okay for me to answer that question? Okay. So we got, like 12? Obviously, there's
Applications.
12 applications. 10. Okay, 10. And so what we're going to do there is to have each council person convey who their, top choices are. We're not going to interview all 10. We just don't have time to do that. And then once we have narrowed it down to our, top 8 choices or, top, 5, we'll then schedule interviews, and we're doing that this week. So hopefully by this week, we'll begin scheduling interviews by the following week. It's my goal.
Okay.
I hope we can do that. So that's the plan so far. But obviously, with that many people applying It just wasn't feasible to do that many interviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Sure.
And I have extra time. Can I save that for next week or the
Thank
next
you.
meeting? I have 3 minutes left.
Yeah. There's no banking of time, Beth.
But it's me.
Oh,
And we do appreciate your conciseness in getting it done before 5 minutes. It's much appreciated. Okay, you're not the only one. Anyone else wishing to be heard on for public comment period? You don't have standing to do so, but I will take a cue from you. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Do you want me